That's going to be a tough defeat for the guys at Grayhound as well. Like, they don't get a huge amount of time to reset, like 10, 15 minutes to sort of try and talk through what went wrong, and everything did. So it's going to be a really difficult point for them. Now, obviously, you look at the statistics and you go, hey, they've got like 100% win rate on Train. It's like, oh, it could work, but it's all domestic, and it's one of their lowest played maps within the pool. So this is going to be a really tough match for them, but we'll see. They start on the CT side again, so there's still the possibility that Grayhound can get off to a solid start, but then we need to see those T side rounds. And the trouble is, this has become probably the most CT-sided map in the pool at the moment, just because of the AUG again. Those long-range battles that you can take from distance.
Just making excuses right now. No, I'm kidding. Continue, sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was trying to be funny. I forgot that I'm not.
Just the distance, like you can sit back and you can take so many different angles you couldn't before, or couldn't as effectively. I think that's what you have to talk about. So this has even become more CT-sided than Nuke. So we really need to see Grayhound getting off to another stellar start. And I think from what we've seen already from Fnatic, we know that they're going to be having a strong CT half.
Let's not talk about Nuke after the DreamHack Open that just happened. What was it? Aristocracy versus Ancient that went into like 5 overtimes.
Yeah, there was a lot of games like that. That happened on Train as well. So, yeah, there are a lot of matches. I was sort of sat there chilling for most of it because I was on the desk, which it's a good and bad. I think that you definitely get more tired when you're not casting, but it doesn't hurt your throat as much when you're just sitting there eating chocolate and drinking energy drinks.
Chocolate? What the? Well, anyways, now we're going to see the push come in out of Fnatic towards Inner. They should be able to get the bomb down here with some well-placed smokes. No one's actually playing too aggressively from the CT side, as actually Fnatic take the fight to them here. Crims pushes up, gets down Malta, so they get a 1-for-1 exchange. And Crims, who we talked about as only having 1 kill at the end of the first half of Dust 2, who did start to really show up on the second, is looking to do so yet again here in a perfect place. But Dick Stacy takes the head off of him, takes the head off of Twist, and JW's behind them. He has Exist up towards upper here for protection. Oh please
God.
Knife.
Oh, no, he's missed it. Oh, he only gets 1. That was the big play, but he has burned down a lot of the clock. Dexter, he's the one with the kit. Just going to be defusing the bomb. Can Exist get the kill? He just needs 1 more bullet, and it's not going to be enough. The defusal, of course he one-taps Dick Stacy straight afterwards, but yeah, that is going to be the round going the way of Grayhound. And JW, he played it perfectly. Like, everything he did was correct until he shot a bullet, and then it all went wrong. And it's one of those horrible scenarios where it's so difficult to choose when to shoot. Because there were so many choices there that he made where he's like, okay, I'm going to try and get closer, and then it just,
I can see a Reddit poster being made right now with JW, and then it stops right before he shoots, and it's like, and at that moment, he knew he effed up. That's going to be something on Reddit, I can almost guarantee that. But unfortunately, Fnatic, they do lose the round. They do get the bomb plant down nonetheless, and Grayhound can breathe a sigh of relief, I think, with that flank coming at JW. And that's not the first time he's done that. Think back to Dust 2 on the T side. He dropped in towards CT spawn. He got behind 2 players. Was able to get 1, not able to get the second. Being extra sneaky here. And I remember listening to JW in the interview. Remember they have like a mental coach now within the team?
A lot of teams do.
When they qualified for Pro League, and like it's how it's like unlock JW again and kind of help him play to his potential. He wouldn't really say what it was. And we didn't really
giving
ask.
Away secrets.
Exactly, but it's interesting to see and how that is going to change the way Fnatic are playing. The Molotov's going to dissipate, and Brolin opens things up. Dexter trying to do something with the M4s. He's eventually going to be swarmed down.
Oh, no.
And Fnatic now, just like what happened to them on the T side of Dust 2, where they lost the pistol, or won the pistol and lost the second round, they're going to do just the same.
Yeah, but this wasn't even really a buy. This was just spending the extra money they had. They had a few upgraded pistols, and they were saving for the next round, and they managed to get 4 kills. Dick Stacy's just trying to hold on to his gun. He had one of the only rifles. That's the only benefit, but it's happening again. Brolin is sneaking his way around the back. He got 3 kills in this round with a P250 Kevlar, so Grayhound already looking to come into some trouble. He doesn't know that Brolin's already crossed. Although Brolin doesn't necessarily know where he is either, and is incredibly low, but I don't think he's particularly going to care if he loses an MP9, so May just trying to finish off this remaining player. Probably going to go around the corner in the next few seconds. Will spot him out, but not going to take anything too risky here. Actually just happy to keep what he had.
Yeah, he should. I think he should care about the MP9 because they know they're going up against a team who cannot afford to buy now. They invested a lot into that last round, a lot of utility. There's like 2 M4s, if not a third one, bought up in there as well for Grayhound.
I think they'll force, though. Because their money.
Okay, well, they give it to Crims.
Yeah, okay. Well, no, he actually does get rid of it. Yeah, I'm not that surprised. There's a force buy-in, MP9, there's a few places that you could see it going. Like maybe if they go back towards the B site again and they just run towards that connector like they did in the last round. And that's pretty much the best way to play the B site, is you want to take control of that connector and get up in the faces of your opponents. But the one rifle already starts things off. The aggression onto Ivy is going to get the opening kill. For the remaining players, of course, on the T side, there's not really any risks being taken. They still have heavy investment into this round. The AWP onto Twist as well. They know how important getting off to a strong start on this T side is going to be. As said, this map has become very CT sided off the back of the AUG, and while one by one we just watch them get picked apart. Dick Stacy attempting to be the hero. You wanted a star player, Jason. I think this might be your man.
Well, as he's alone against 3, he's going to get the ace to win this round. It's going to be tough to do, especially now with the bomb making its way in towards the site. That's going to be Exist falling. They know where Dick Stacy is. They know he's low HP.
I think he'll save now.
Probably going to be trying to save, and more importantly, saving the AWP. And this was actually something I wanted to talk about now on this map, and on this map in general when it comes to CT side. Double up setups.
Yeah,
very powerful.
Double up 3 AUGs, that's all you want. That is the meta. It does obviously depend on the team, but we've already seen double orbs coming out from Grayhound on Dust 2, and I'd be very surprised if we don't see it again. Obviously, it depends on finances, but the fact is that's not going to be happening for a little while anyway. This was pretty much a full investment. Sicko, you can see, was already saving money to get an AWP in the next couple of rounds. But Dick Stacy being able to keep one, if he's able to keep one, yeah. Crims is just around the corner. I think he's going to check. And, well, even though he doesn't check it initially, it doesn't matter. He'll get the ult back and... Well,
that's so important, though. Like, taking that op out of Dick Stacy's hands, like whether it was going to be on him or Sicko, the work you can do on train from distance and the time it takes to close that gap to, you know, or the smokes or flashes being thrown to stop you from being able to be effective, I think it's important to keep that weapon out of that side of CT. And not to mention, if they can continue to cripple the economy at Grayhound, prevent the double up setup from happening, prevent Grayhound from getting the start that they need from that first couple of round victories to get the double up, you know, prepared and ready to go, I think Fnatic should be able to run away with a decent amount of rounds here before Grayhound really gets started.
Oh, CT side. I like this. They're going to try and do something a little bit unorthodox. Unfortunately, Crim's throwing down that Molotov is going to make things very difficult. And,
oh, come on.
Okay.
Come on. He didn't want to shoot. He wanted him to burn. He was making a statement. He says, I could have killed you, but I wanted the fire to do it.
Yeah, I liked it before that Molotov went down, and then it was like, I get why they just decided to peek. Like, realistically, after everyone's been spotted or after they know, they're not going to get anything done anyway once they just go and hide on the A site and get the bomb down and play after plant. So I understand why they did it. It does look slightly ridiculous when you're just seeing Crims just stand there and not have to do anything to get kills.
It was kind of weird. It's like, because I would expect Grayhound to do this, not Fnatic. You know, putting some shrimp on the Barbie.
I like how you've just indirectly called them all shrimp.
I mean, everyone's a shrimp compared to me because of how tall I am.
That is true.
Except Potter. She's like 6 foot something.
I think 6'2".
She's pretty tall.
Yeah, I had to stand next to her as well.
Yeah, I saw. Well, they had to change the camera shots, I guess, to accommodate that. And just like Dick Stacy's going to have to go back to spawn here for the next round as he unfortunately loses out on that duel in towards Ivy. And Fnatic, I mean, I want to see a little bit more life out of Grayhound. Yeah, they've been able to buy up too many guns here, but these rounds have been just fairly one-sided. Finally, a decent start for them here. As Urcast is able to shine up, gets 2. Malta gets 1 as well. But Fnatic still have Crims left alive, and they still have Exist left alive. Yeah, I think this is an important round for Grayhound, just mentally.
Oh, Exist just waiting on the angle. Instant headshot onto Malta as well. He may be low on HP, but it doesn't seem to matter for Exist. And we've already spoken about how since Crims pretty much went onto the CT half the last map, it's been a complete turnaround. He's got 8 in this one. There will at least be a trade, and that's the bomb down still on the floor. Crim's going to have to be a little bit careful. I don't know if Sicko actually spotted it or if he's just going to reposition into the connector. This could actually be a very smart choice because he's been spotted over on that angle. You can see Crim's just patiently waiting, trying to get the retrieval of the bomb, but will now have absolutely no idea where his opponent's coming from. At least I think he would.
He should have just heard him there, I would imagine. The bomb's still down, 18 seconds left. Crims is going to have to run over to pick this up, and now his position's definitely been given away. Sicko trying to push back into the site. Hopefully he fares better than Dick Stacy did at the end of the last round. With time left, actually, Crims is going to have to stick this plan, so Sicko should be able to actually pick up this kill. He's going to come around the side. Crims can get the bomb and escape in time, and he does get the bomb down, but he won't be able to get away. And Sicko, a much needed round here for the side of Grayhound.
Yeah, that was just an intelligent clutch. Like, used the time to his advantage, knew that Crims wouldn't be able to just aggressively just run and go and get the bomb, so he just played around with the time and rotated into a completely different spot. And it seemed like Crims even thought of it. Like, he was checking towards the connector, but once it got down to 10 seconds, he doesn't have a choice. He would either have to just completely go all in on I've guessed he's there, so he's there, or go for the bomb. And once that happened, didn't have enough time. So 3-2, Grayhound, they're back on the board, but just look at the buy they've come up with. The last one was rifles across the board with the AWP. This one, it has 2 MP9s and a FAMAS. I think we could very easily see a breakback here, and there's going to have to be some more aggressive positions being taken by this CT side already. You can see the spot coming out from Dexter over on the ramp.
Oh, using that fire for cover.
Yeah. That's always the risk when you're facing towards a Molotov. It just, that you can get a lot less vision than the person on the other side. Doesn't really make any sense. Oh, Crims! Oh, he's been caught! They're not actually going to be able to retrieve the gun, but even still... Oh, he's going back. He really wants that gun, and I think he may actually be able to get it.
That was a really interesting squeal, by the way.
You're welcome.
Well, down to a 3-on-4 with a minute left to go. And so they're going to make a push in towards outside. Nice little smoke coming in to potentially dislodge Dick Stacy, but Brolin's bullets will do just as well. And Malta, a little bit of a wide peek there, gets flanked in from behind out of existence as he pushes even more aggressively towards Pop Dog. And now it's just all on Dexter by himself. The buy wasn't great. They're not going to be able to buy into the next round. Fnatic should be up 4-2 now, and ideally 5-2 if they can keep this momentum up. Some rough times here for Grayhound. And I'm really wondering, if we look at Dust 2 on their T side, Fnatic just held passive angles and just beat them in aim battles. And if they ever did get through, they would lose 2-3 different people. Looking at Grayhound moving to the T side of Train, do you feel like it's going to come into that same kind of position? I feel like Train's a little bit more open in terms of executing strats.
Yeah, but it's so tough. It's so tough once the economy gets built up for the CT side. Like, once the AUGs come in, yeah, it's more open, but it's open for a scope to just watch you wherever you go. And it really has become more CT-sided. So I think it's going to be really tough, and I think they're going to need a strong CT half, at least 9-10 rounds. Otherwise, I think Fnatic will just take this like they did in the previous. I like small detail there from Dexter. He actually walks away down to the kitchen to throw his gun, so that when the gun hits the floor, it makes a sound in a place where he's not going to be, and then goes and picks up the weapon and walks away. So a smart decision in terms of just making the save more likely. And if he'd lost the MP9 or if he died, then I guess it wouldn't have really mattered anyway if there was somebody there. Like, saving an MP9 is not going to change the round, whereas an SG definitely can do some damage, especially on the CT side where you're not having to peek aggressively into these angles. You can just hold patiently. He himself is going to be sat just looking into A main. He spotted out Twist, and there you go. Already opening pick for Dexter.
It almost feels like Fnatic's just testing Grayhound. I mean, they're pretty spread across the map. JW towards Ivy. They had Twist, as well as Brolin in towards middle. The problem is that they're up against 4 USPs in the SG that Dexter saved from the round prior. Brolin's not really been able to protect. I don't think he actually protected the gun that was down, did he? That Twist dropped? I didn't see him pick it up and throw it away. Okay,
what, the AWP?
Yeah, so he did actually
threw it out
away.
of the map, yeah. Brolin just threw it out of the map, so no chance of that being retrieved. In the meantime, we're going to see the T side start their rotation towards the B site, but so have the CTs. Now, they've gamble stacked it. They've got the gun here again, so it's already been spotted on A, so switch it up over to B just to try and almost catch off this T side once again. It's just whether or not they actually dedicate themselves in this direction. You can see they're going to go for a bit of aggression, but that will give some information to both sides. They're going to know that at least one man has gone down in this direction. The push from Brolin comes in, and the rifle doesn't manage to do anything. It lowers Brolin a bit. It might help, but Brolin just continues to go. Arcust, now the man on the site, and Brolin is just finishing off all of these players. Of course, most of them didn't have anything, and he's even going to get the ace. A quick cleanup for Brolin. The youngster still going strong, 10-2, and a 5-2 scoreline already on the T side for Fnatic. And starting to get worrying for Grayhound. They really need to start grinding back some rounds.
Yeah, tough times here for them. They're going to be able to buy up into this round, but it's going to be lacking quite a bit of utility. And Fnatic, again, the slower pace working out. Smart play by Brolin, who actually as you mentioned, he threw away the off that Twist lost, and then he got the ace off the back of that, really showing that the young guys have what it takes to compete against the old guard. But still, 5-2. It is possible for Grayhound to come back. But the momentum these rounds are just seeming to really work against them. Stacy's going to get aggressive towards Ivy. Actually gets the kill on a JW, but takes a hell of a lot of damage for his troubles. At least get that information off the bat, and they do get the man advantage. And
Yeah, they've been pretty good at that, though. That's one of the things you can actually give credit to Grayhound for, is they've been good at getting the openers. It's just when the execute happens, they get ruined at Crims again. The double entry into the site. I don't even know if they go for this now. They might just have to save.
Yeah, looks like they're going to be going for that. Dick Stacy flanking around already. Sicko trying to protect his AUG. Fnatic should be up 6-2. Also, just for you guys who are wondering on the B stream here, we will be having Daytona against Cloud9 as our next best of 3 after this. I'm actually going to check out what the main stream is currently running. If you guys are curious about results that are happening over there, I guess it's Energy versus G2 currently, and G2 do have a 1-0 lead against NRG. But Fnatic, I mean, they're carrying the pace from Dust 2.
Yeah, Crims is back to his old self, and the problem is at the moment, it just seems that even individually, Fnatic are just overrunning Grayhound. Like, as mentioned, they've been able to get away with a few bits of aggression where they've caught Fnatic off guard and they win those opening duels. But then after that, it doesn't seem to matter where Fnatic go, they just win the round anyway. Like, there needs to be some sort of hero for Grayhound to even stand a chance, and that is really worrying. Like, there has been little to no like positives for them on the CT side so far, other than the successful aggression and the fact that Fnatic can just get away with winning 4v5s. That shouldn't be possible on Train. Like, it is a tough map. If you don't get the picks, you normally struggle. But the fact is, they've been very good at just coming back, and now their boost comes in. A fairly common one at that. Crims is even going to find another. Okay, there'll be a trade, but it doesn't matter. He gets the martyrdom kill off the back of the Molotov. Well, there's 2 left. Urka's going to go a bit aggressive. And Dick Stacy, again, he's been good at holding down at least Ivy. Okay, Urka's, he definitely dropped there, but he still gets away with 2. Maybe just a little bit too focused or thinking it was a teammate from behind. There's actually an opportunity now. It's going to be him versus Brolin. As said, when rounds have been won for Grayhound, there's been a hero. And Urka's looks to step up and be just that. Brolin, on the other side, he has a lot of time. He's only got a flashbang, though. Maybe just going to try throwing that in, stealing the bomb and running. Because he won't even know if the bomb's gone. In fact, Brolin's going to take the fight. Maybe a little bit audacious from the 17-year-old, but it is going to be enough for Urkus to win them the round. And it's the same scenario again. It had to be a 1v3 for them to be able to take that.
And Grayhound calling a timeout off the back of that, too, trying to figure out what can we do. We can't... They shouldn't have to depend on these great individual plays to win rounds. They need great teamwork. They need just people hitting shots. You see Malta at 2 frags. JW actually at 2 frags, uncharacteristic of him. However, JW at 12, Brolin at 11. But Grayhound need to go back to basics here. You can't have that one player. You're not Fnatic. You can't depend on winning games off of clutches. But Grayhound might just need that off the back of Urkas getting that nice 1v3 as you mentioned.
Yeah, I think definitely a little bit of luck involved as well. The only way I can really defend exist there is that maybe he just thought that his teammate was behind. Because you would sneak down the ladder most of the time.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't just jump. Like, I think that was actually a mistake from Urkus, but then he ranks just a little bit too slow, and then, well, an easy double. But 6-3.
I mean, yeah, we talk about winning off clutches, but that was kind of a clutch given to Grayhound almost.
Yeah, it was.
They should have been looking behind.
I feel like most clutches are still based off some sort of mistake. Like, we saw Refresh over in Sweden get a 1v4 ace. If they pushed him all at the same time, he can't kill all of them. It's just not possible. So some of the greatest plays in Counter-Strike, like I still remember JDM getting a 1v5, Guardian getting a 1v5. Like, most of those are because the team on the other side makes a mistake and then they capitalize. So you can't really take anything away from Urkus. He did what he needed to do. He won them the round. That's what they needed. The problem is, every round they've won, again, it's been kind of close. It's been, like, well, on a knife edge.
Well, the pistol round, they won because, was it JW messed up the flank from behind and then existing towards upper. You couldn't hit the last shot onto Dick Stacy, who was defusing. I mean, that was a situation they never should have won. They shouldn't even have that round, if not more than that. But either way, they still have 3, and Fnatic have 6. We're going back into the next round here as we are ready to go. Seiko and Dexter with AWP.
Yeah, that's where we saw a lot of their success on Dust 2 as well. So
Out of Seiko and Dexter.
Yeah, well, no, the orbs. It was the
yeah.
orbs. The double orb setup was really good on their CT side. They're actually going to start taking aggression, and again, they've got themselves that opening pick. Malta will take a lot of damage in return, but they managed to gain some ground, and this is ground that we haven't seen taken from them too much thus far in the game. So starting to at least maybe build into things a little bit. They've had some chance of a pause. That was incredibly close to Malta being traded straight out, but we'll see how Fnatic now react, because that's what's been so impressive from the Swedes so far is they have won many rounds with a man at disadvantage. So it's whether they can continue that here.
Looks like JW might be the first to peek in towards lower here. I was expected to be Crims, just because Crims doesn't seem to ever lose his position unless he gets 1 or 2 kills. That's perfect double peek. Look at that choreography. Synchronized swimming, synchronized running, and synchronized kills coming through as Fnatic have been able to take the inner sight. It's going to be Sicko there, but he's been blocked off by the Molotov. Potential flank to come in from Aircast. This is still going to be tough.
Yeah, the rotation's a long one. The only thing that could really play in is if Crims goes and looks, doesn't see anything, and then they just think, okay, it's too long, so maybe there'll be no one behind. I think that's the only way he gets away with this. Crims has been pretty much hitting everything so far, and the rest of the team are just using their utility to hold back this CT side. There is a kit onto Sicko with the AWP, but actually Crims does go peeking, and Urkus has found a kill. The problem is the bomb is ticking so far gone, and now we're going to see the aggression back in. It looks like they've fallen into a save. Just a little bit too long to get back into the sites, and okay, sure, they get the majority of the kills, but it doesn't really matter for Fnatic. They've broken back again. At least the CTs will be able to buy them, and actually with a fair amount of cash.
And they're able to get the AWP back too, the double AWP setup. Dexter lost it initially on the peak out of JW and Exist. So they maintain the double AWP into this round. I feel like they actually could have held the round if they just pushed a little bit earlier on. I mean, credit to Urkas to play so patient there, because Crims in no way expected him to be hiding in that corner. It's just kind of a shame to see a 3-on-1 and then not win the round in the end of things. But Fnatic had more than enough money to buy into this round. And with a 7-3 scoreline, looking to take it to 8 here. But again, no more challenging towards Ivy out of Fnatic anymore. You can see how aggressive Seiko's now getting, trying to go for anyone there to potentially get an early man advantage. But as you said, we've seen Fnatic win 4v5s, and they just won a 4v5 in the last round.
Yeah, no, it has been. It's kind of weird because you don't really see it so often. Like, getting that early pick is normally quite integral on Train, but Grayhound haven't been able to capitalize up at all. An aggressive play in towards the A site. Molotov's used Dick Stacy. Will get the first again, but it's quickly traded out. Back and forward we go into the 3v3. Fnatic have themselves the site, but they're kind of surrounded in this scenario, and players starting to take damage. Malta will pick up one more. Brolin trades it back, but it's all onto Brolin. And Malta, with a big triple into this one, will save the AWP. Grayhound, they get their 4th, and have finally managed to streak a couple of rounds. Oh, no, wait, they lost the last, didn't they? I was just thinking, because, yeah, 3v1, they must have won. No, they did. So they haven't managed to streak any rounds, but at least they do bounce back and don't get reset. And because of these backwards and forwards rounds, it's actually Fnatic are starting to come into some problems in terms of their finances.
I still feel like Exist bluffed that shot, though, onto Malta in Connector. He had his head dead to rights, misses the shot. Then he jumps up to go over the top of the bomb, or of the bomb train, and then just gets caught midair. A little unfortunate for him there, but unfortunately you have to play the way that it does lie. And Crim's going to be dropped by Dexter with a little bit of play above the smoke, and he's looking to escape. And he will be able to do so. So again, Fnatic being forced to play with the man down. Can't count them out just yet from what we've been seeing, to be fair.
It's like every round. Like, the aggression from Grayhound is great. Like, it really is. They've been doing fantastic work, but Fnatic have been even better at getting entry kills into the site. Dexter again, though, and he's doing work with that MP9. The trade will be in, but it's still a man advantage. At least that means there will be a gun for JW, so it's actually only really the pistols that they've lost. That's it, if he can actually get to one. And while Twist is going to be dropped, and JW just using the P250 for now, his teammate will fall. He can eventually retrieve that AK, however, it may be a little bit too late, as he's now into a 3v1.
There shouldn't be a world where he wins this, but it is JW. He's done far more with far less in the past. He's got 37 seconds, so he has time to work with, but now getting that position away. So Switching back to the AK. I almost imagine you're just going to try to save this.
I don't know. I want him to go for it. He won't, but I want him to. Because at the moment, it seems like there aren't rounds that Fnatic can't win. But just going to be, as you said, saving the AK. They will now start getting a little bit of loss bonus building up as well. So if he can do some damage in the next round, that'll probably be enough to at least keep the CT side low. But at least Grayhound are now starting to actually build into this game. Again, I think that their success in the aggression is something that you really have to give them credit for. It's just the fact that so many rounds that Fnatic were able to get like double entries into sites, and it seems like that has slowly dwindled away. But even still, like, okay, sure, momentum would be great for Grayhound going forward if they can get themselves the 8-7, but that's still not a good half. Like, 7 rounds on the T side.
They have 7 already,
yeah.
so even though they're losing these last 2 rounds, like, this is still a fantastic start for them. And when they move into CT, as we just saw in Dust 2, how overwhelming they can be, how overpowering they can be. But just holding their composure and holding angles, then let's see them start to get a little bit more aggressive to catch Grayhound off guard. This match is not going to get easier at all for Grayhound, and if we do hit a 3rd map, I believe we're going to Inferno. But that's if Grayhound can win the next 11.
Already. It's just going to be that 1-for-1 trade. And AWP picked up, but the CT side looking to clear. Still, Brolin is here, and he's been decent this game. It's no doubt about that. Strong from the remaining CT players. He's going to have to try and pull off a clutch here. They have started to rectify the problems, but he gets himself a 3rd. Sprayed through the smoke will take some damage.
Tom, he's already gotten an ace so far on Train.
Yeah, that was against Nico. He actually hits the shot, but look at the kill. He's got that one, though. And only one more shot needs to go down for Brolin. The AWP in hand, Malta already tagged, but that doesn't really matter. It's whether he can connect this shot. Spots him out, but Malta will close it. Way too close for comfort, and Brolin is out of his mind. Maybe the extra year that he gained very recently was enough to take him even further. How is anyone so young this good? It really does make me feel very underwhelming as a human being.
I mean, you are very underwhelming.
Yeah, I know.
As a human being, it's fine.
We can't all be Brolins, all right?
That's true. We all can't be. But you know what? If he pulled off that ace, what the hell would have been going on for Grayhound? He's already been able to pull off one before with the SG and almost doing it with the AWP. But he's got to be hyped up. 16 kills for this young superstar on Fnatic. A lot of AUGs on the side of Grayhound, but they've not been able to really get a double up setup going. They've had a couple of rounds, but it's not been successful for Grayhound. I feel like Fnatic's been doing a generally good job of preventing it from being too powerful. And Dexter trying to get the win against Crims yet again here as he pushes up aggressively in upper. But it looks like the transition is going to come in towards the outside push.
And look how much map control Grayhound have actually been able to get. Like, you have to feel this may have gone a little bit too far the other way. Like, they have Ivy control, they have aggressive B control, but now they just go barreling in towards this A site. A fairly basic push, some smokes thrown in. Looking for those picks, Brolin around the corner, but he only manages one. Urkus is there to keep him honest this time, and now this fast flank coming. This is based off all that aggression. We saw 1 and a 2nd for Malta as well. It's left all onto JW. He's gained some ground. It's a bit of a weird scenario where most of the CTs are behind him now. We'll spot out Malta, but he can't do anything. And yeah, no, the map control the Grayhound are getting is actually starting to get quite scary. Like, if they could have done this earlier in the game, we could have actually seen a very strong half for them, because in that round, they had full Ivy control and full upper B control, which just doesn't happen. Like, that's really rare. So,
I mean, they did had, I think JW was sitting back watching towards Ivy, but they weren't watching like the same angle where they could see each other. So like technically he was watching in that direction, but the fact that Grayhound was able to push out a player that far and see that there was no Ivy pressure at all allowed them to just regroup their forces to pay more attention towards middle, more towards Pop Dog. And even the flank coming out of Malta. Again, that's the second time we've seen Fnatic getting caught off from that position.
Well, the final round of this half, the buy is not going to be particularly good for Fnatic. I wonder if we might see some sort of faster B play. Like, they got some MAC-10s, look to get towards the connector. They've actually done quite a lot over on that side of the map, and the aggression that's been coming out could be punished. It's mainly been Dexter going aggressive with either an MP9 or in the last round you saw actually coming the other way, but By the looks of things, they're just going to look to try and burst out onto this site again. Urkus has avoided the T side. He'll spray down 3, and that should be the end of this round already. Crims left with JW. A Deeg is all JW could afford, and, well, alongside a CZ where there's a couple of flashbangs, but that's about it. The bomb also down. Look how aggressive Crims is getting, just running forward, hoping he can do something with that MAC-10. But it is going to be the resurgence, and a nice comeback from Grayhound. It has to be said, they were quite far down, and it has turned back to an 8-7. They are at least in the lead going into this T-side, but we're going to have to see a prominent T-side from them if they can take this home. We'll be back after a short break.
Welcome back, everyone, to the finals of Season 9 of the ESL Pro League. Live here from our Cologne studios as we cover the B stream. We are not over in France, in Montpellier. Don't look so sad, Tom, because you get to be here with me and get to enjoy our summer here in Cologne and enjoy some spicy games, as Fnatic are currently down 8-7 against Grayhound Gaming. However, are up 1-0 so far in the series. Tom, if you could be one animal, what would you be?
Ooh, that's tough. I think I quite like to be a cat. I'm going to be boring. But I just think, you know, lazing around, somebody looking after me all the time, pretty much sounds like my life now.
Get to be an asshole all the time.
Again, just sounds like my life now.
Sounds great. Well, here we go now into the second half of Grayhound Gaming versus Fnatic on Train.
As long as I'm not one of those hairless cats, I want to at least have hair. Like, I don't have it in this life, I want it in the next.
Well, Grayhound are going to be charging in towards this inner site. They have 3 players to defend. And, well, so far, one of us not really been able to do too much. Exist trying to run away, but he runs into a trap as Dexter's going to be there. And Grayhound with the quick play in towards... Oh, my gosh, bro. The quick play towards B, they do get the bomb down.
Yeah, that trade back is fairly important. I don't know if there was a kit on one of the remaining players, but there's none currently in the hands of any of the members of Fnatic, and they've got to get to the site first. They need to get to defusing that bomb, but it is going to be the trade once again into a 2 versus 2. Both players up above, and they have retrieved the kits on JW now. No smoke available to them, though, so they can't really hide themselves within it. Watching for upper still, but they're both on lower. Both will peek out at the same time. JW still manages one, but it doesn't matter at this point. The bomb ticking all the way down. He needs this kill right now, and he's not going to get it. Bomb will go off, and Grayhound have the second pistol.
Sicko picking up 3 kills there. Massive play out of him and much needed play out of Grayhound to have that solid start they need on the T side. Well played by them, and just to rush them down, but Broen hit an amazing shot though, coming through connector, through the fire, and into the brains, I guess is the way they should rename that song for Grayhound Gaming. But there we go, 9-7. A couple of AKs, a couple of MAC-10s picked up here, though we see a triple scout setup out of Fnatic. That's scary.
Yeah, I like it. I think that more scouts in these sort of rounds are always going to be effective, especially when you have someone like Brolin on a CZ. Already, though, the nade does damage. The scout helps out Exist, doing even more.
Gosh.
Another nade to be thrown in. They've just done so much already. At least the 3 remaining players will escape, and they're going to go for that rotation. Just worried that there's somebody on the ladder, but just look at the CT side. They will do the same in return. Already 3 players ready and waiting on this site. Remember, there are still 3 scouts, though one of them still peering into that B site. Exist has retrieved an AK-47 as well, and Crims is just going to wreck her because he's looking for a little bit more. The thing is now the T's, this is such a troublesome point to try and get past. They know where the majority are, but they're just getting tagged again and again and again. And it is almost flawless, like barely any damage done to the side of Fnatic as they destroy Grayhound and again win the second round. That is 2 halves in a row. They've lost the pistol and won the second.
Well, now Fnatic getting 1 step closer to tying it up now at 8-9. That has to be so disheartening for Grayhound, I feel like. For 3 scouts to come out and just shut you down like that, and then the nades as well. I mean, Grayhound, they had the start they wanted. However, the second round didn't work out as well as they were expecting. And keep in mind, if they lose this map, they're out of the whole tournament. Their Pro League run in Season 9 comes to a close.
Yep, at the early possible position as well. Oh, I just went far enough. I thought he was going to be protected. So JW already gets the opener. They have fully invested into this. So it's not like this is just a save round waiting for AKs. Still 2 scouts in play, but then there's all the weaponry that Fnatic managed to retrieve. And it's the same as the last half, where they've managed to gather up some guns for free. And as I mentioned in the last map, like, it's more painful for this to happen to you. If you just lose right out, at least you get the loss bonus. And you can have buys a little bit earlier, and you can start getting multiple buys in multiple rounds. Instead, they've had to force, they'll have to save. We will see Fnatic take the lead again, if that is the case. Already Exist just tapping down Malta as they attempt to push into this site. Just going to Molotov things off to try and deny any chance of them getting a bomb plant. You can see the rotation already coming in from Twist, but Exist will at least go down. They've given themselves a little bit of a chance, as they will be able to get the bomb down. Nurkic just found another.
Fire comes in, and Brolin doesn't get Sicko to push in the other direction. He's going to rush him down on the site. So now they've cleared the site. However, Dick Stacy, and more importantly, Aircast is still alive with the Deagle in hand. Mr. Stacy can be pushing out through upper, spots out Brolin. This is the first shot, and eventually gets overwhelmed, and now Aircast, there just should be no way that he's going to be able to win a 1v3 like this with the Deagle. I'd love to see him prove me wrong, but JW says, nope, that's not happening. And ties things up now at 9 apiece.
Yeah, at least they get a bomb plant, so that will mean that they can pretty much do a similar buy here with a few Deagles, maybe a CZ or something like that with some Kevlar. It's not going to be an amazing purchase, but it will at least be something going into this one. But it does mean we're also going to see the upgrade, and straight away upgrading into a double AWP setup. So 3 AKs, double AWP, it was always the setup you used to want to have, pretty much, in Counter-Strike, although I think it's now even questioned whether you want the AK over the AUG, which is, well, I don't like it, but it does create a different dynamic. Bullet flies past as they look to try and set up some smokes in order to brute force their way in towards this A site. Again, hoping for another bomb plant, and they are actually getting spammed through the wall. This has to be frustrating. You're just trying your setup here. This isn't even you fighting at the moment. Brolin on the other side of the smoke. The problem is it's taken so long. The smokes are beginning to fade, but Dick Stacy gets the opener. However, a lot of damage done already. JW closes out one more. And what was looking a little bit dicey, Crims is just cleaning things up. It is, of course, only pistols, but Fnatic now take themselves the lead.
10-9 here for the boys from Sweden. 21 kills for Broen and 19 for Crims, FYI. Top fragger for Grayhound is currently Aircast at 15. But it's just so weird to see that like so many different people can step up on so many different maps. I mean, Exist, he's been having like pretty damn solid maps. If you think about it, back to Dust 2, he played really well. Here on Train, he's doing just the same. And for your in-game leader to step up like that, that's something exactly what you want to be having to be one of the top teams in the world. And I think Fnatic are almost fighting for that, you know, fighting for that chance to get back into top 10, fighting for that chance to break out of mid-tier. They've had some good performances of past, but consistency has been a little bit lacking, I guess I should say.
Yeah, the problem they had in a lot of tournaments was just they'd lose maps to teams they should be destroying. And that was something that, like, when we talk about the legendary Fnatic, they would run over lower tier teams, like absolutely destroy them. It wouldn't even be close. But nowadays it seems to be that a lot of the time they seem to play to the level of their opponent. Well, we saw a lot of rounds in the first half of the last map before they eventually just obliterated them. And it does seem that they get to a point where they can just do that. Push going to be coming through the edge of the smoke. Any bullet sprayed through, and Crim's, yeah, I was about to say, is guaranteed a kill, and that's exactly what he gets. Second not quite going to be there, and JW, not wanting to over-aggress, will just find him through the smoke instead. Leaves just 2 players remaining on the side of Grayhound, and, well, it's hard to even decide what to do in this scenario. It looks like they're going to regroup over and towards A main and try and find a gap there. Brolin already looking to take the upper ground, and flashbangs being used to leave them without vision. Twist will pick off one, and they can almost guess that the second player is going to be around this angle as well. Brolin patient as well. Like, these are normally the situations you see people get a little bit too over-aggressive, but he waits for the contact, and, well, he's not even going to get the kill. JW will steal it away. 11-9, another 4-man round for Fnatic, where they just build up even more cash, and the T's, they don't have that luxury.
It's a very slippery slope for Grayhound. Thinking about how Fnatic won 12 straight on the CT side of Dust 2. Didn't drop a single round in that half. And I feel like if Fnatic get going like this, like you said, the economy built up, they have double up setup still, they have 2 AUGs and an AK, they have the money to buy up just back into this another time. Grayhound need to do something to stop this rod, and I'm not sure what it's going to be. I'm not sure what they need to do here to take a round here against Fnatic, and to do it not only once, but for the next 7 times. They've had a couple of good individual moments. Eric Cass with a deagle. Sicko on Dust 2 did some amazing plays. But Grayhound are really struggling when it comes to T side. And I like the note you said, by the way, about Fnatic. And I feel like a lot of mid-tier teams kind of have this problem of like playing to their opponent's level. I think of like Wendigo, whether you consider them like mid-tier or high or low mid-tier. Thinking back to Bucharest Gaming Week when we were there, it was like me, Mitch, Jeet, and there was one more, Jay. There we go. And we were casting. We were looking at Wendigo playing teams that they should stomp over. Like, they're playing in the most premier league of Counter-Strike in the world, and they were struggling against teams who were like tier 4, tier 5, teams that they should be able to wipe any day of the week. And I feel like that's just a general problem maybe within mid-tier teams, that they just can't seem to get that overwhelming presence when playing. You know, you take Astralis versus any team in the world, and they're going to put on a class. A master class of work.
Well, yeah, it's another thing that even like when VP were in their sort of questionable state, they were always very good at beating like, like I remember it was always VP even when they were sort of like still in the top 10, but they were like having some problems before they then rise again. It was like a sort of almost dip and then back up, dip back up. They play someone like the old Cloud9 with like Freakazoid and them when they're on the rise and just obliterate them. Like they didn't even seem like they had to try.
And then they get 16-0'd on cash by not sports.
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things, but yeah, Fnatic, at least in this scenario, look like they have built into this one. We've got the double orb set up once again, and well, only pistols this time for Grayhound. They've taken some time to talk things through, given NeilM an opportunity. But what can they realistically achieve in this round? That's the hardest thing here. Like, where do they find their space? CT side actually going to start repositioning themselves. Going to take some control in towards Pop. And then go back to face on Ivy. Nice shot from Dick Stacy. Will even things up after the initial kill comes in. That gives them quite a bit of space. The problem is JW is still watching over onto Ivy, and winning this duel is going to be a little bit more difficult because he's playing much more passive. The AUG pickup will help them quite significantly. question is, where are they going to go? Are they going to attempt the wraparound? Will they cut back in and try and get into the A site? Expecting an attempted B play, but you can see again these passive plays from Fnatic, but they're starting to get caught out. JW needs to hit the shot, he lines them up. The nade will finish the second, and it's left all onto Urcast. He has the Deeg in hand, tries to take his time with the shot, but Twist will do the same. And Fnatic, what looked like it could have been a questionable round from them, they eventually closed things out with 3 alive.
Well, you asked, what can Grayhound realistically do with what they had? And I mean, Dick Stacy getting 2 was fantastic. Problem is he wasn't able to take down the third of JW, which could have potentially opened up that round for the Aussie boys. But now into round number 22, Fnatic with a big lead of 3. More importantly, have the economy to back this up, to continue to go back and forth like this time and time again.
Oh, that's better.
That's what they needed. Sicko with an early open onto JW gives them the man advantage, but then again, how many times have we said Greyhounds have the man advantage and they've still lost the round?
Yeah, moving on to the T side though, I was gonna say getting those early picks really can help you, but Crims is so quick to respond on Ivy. However, they have managed to split the defense, and they're going to start their rotation on towards this B site. Xist going to be playing right around the edge of the smoke, and he has support from Twist, this secondary AWP in play. The smoke going to go down, but the incendiary there to counter. So the T's can't go through it just yet, but they're not dedicated to the site. It still seems like they want to go on the push, and now Xist doesn't avoid the flash. To spray not going to be enough. Twist is held back by the smoke, but he's still going to be able to find at least 1 kill, and the nade should do some extra utility damage. Brolin with another on the aggressor, a second as well, and tries to close it alone, but he's at least caught Urcast low. 14 HP, 2 players still to find. Now one of them with an AWP.
Look how passive they're being too. They're not rushing this. They have so much time to work with here, Tom.
Yeah, they didn't really have to worry, and Crims just patient. Urcast was hoping somebody would give him the fight, and Fnatic not interested in it at all. Another round on the board. A bomb plant at least will give Grayhound a comfortable buy into the next round, but even still, they're starting to run out of rounds, not even just in this map, but in the tournament. 3 away from being eliminated.
I think you saw, like, Urcast, he wanted a fight, right? Like, after those kills he got, he's like, all right, I want to find something. He's hyped up, he's ready to hit another shot, but Fnatic just ices him out, just sits back, waits. They know they have so much time to work with, and they force Urcast to actually make the mistake in that situation. Obviously, the mistake he made was something he needed to do anyway, to look for a 1v1 somewhere to equalize in terms of manpower, but either way, Fnatic now 3 away, as you mentioned. And Sicko does get the opener yet again, but Fnatic, how many times have they won when losing the opener? How many times have they won these rounds being down a man? Or I guess now we could say, how many have they been able to win being down 2 men?
Yeah, no, they actually managed to isolate these remaining CT players. A faster paced round coming out from Grayhound Gaming, and they win it flawlessly. That is much better from the Aussie side. An aggressive push out initially, and I think Sicko's step up could be the difference. Like, if they're going to bring this back, he needs to have it. He was very good in the first half of the first map with his AWP, and the last couple of rounds he's been able to aggressively fight into that A-site and get them the opening pick. But the difference is this time, they don't wait patiently, because that's what they've been doing. They've been trying to almost play smart versus a team that, well, is a higher caliber. I think a lot of the time when you see these sort of, I don't want to say lesser teams, but lower ranked teams, less experienced teams win these matches, they just try and brute force it. They take these fights 3 rounds in a row now. They've managed to get this opening pick in the same place, and they continue the pressure. They continue the aggression. Dick Stacy with another, looking for more into the site as JW is only able to get 1. Xist, he's going to have to be a hero here, and the Molotov's forcing him into the open. He still gets a kill, but he's going to burn. And that is another round for Grayhound. This aggressive style starting to trouble the Swedes.
Super fast pace. That run took about 30 seconds there. Now Fnatic going to be icing them as they call a timeout. Definitely a much needed one, considering the pace of this game has definitely switched in favor of Grayhound Gaming. Fnatic talked about the economy they had, the ability to buy into multiple rounds. Well, now where's that economy? It's gone. They can't buy into round number 25. And there's a good chance Grayhound could almost equalize this at 13 apiece. At least number 12 here should be on the cards here for Grayhound. Their economy's looking pretty decent at the same
Look what they're doing. Here. You know where these are going. Yeah, you know where these are going as well.
They've lost, what, 3 rounds in a row in middle for their pick out of Sicko, so
they're going to nade him. Will he go again? Like, if they know that this is an eco round, then they probably shouldn't. But at the same time, if this is the only thing that's working, can you really blame them if they do go for early A main aggression? And that could at least be a pick. Nade's going to be thrown over, already a dunk, but still Arcus manages the kill, and the other Nade's a little bit further behind. It does some damage, but ultimately won't have any effect in a round, and why not? The old VP strategy of just the plow. Oh, there we go, exists though. That's some extra money. Even an AK picked up doesn't manage to get the second, but that's some finances into his pocket. Could even drop an AWP in the next round. The thing is, I don't actually know if they'll go for this, just because Crims is a little bit lower. Like, they might take the risk, but I'll be interested to see if Fnatic actually go for a buy here, because normally you want to have the AUGs, normally you want to have all the extra utility, and if they go for a buy here, they won't have it.
I don't think there's any need to rush into it. I mean, if anything, do that nade strat again. I would imagine Grayhound wouldn't expect it a second time, but who knows at this rate? And Fnatic almost have nothing to lose if they do anyways. I mean, yeah, things will be tied up at 13 apiece, but they'll have all the money in the world to work with. I feel like it's low risk, high reward kind of situation for Fnatic to go for something like that again.
Yeah, they can go for a light purchase here. Like, some of the players with a bit more money maybe getting an SMG or two, and they could go for some deagles and some pistols, and even then they could still steal that round away. But yeah, I think this is a more reasonable play. Actually, Exist going to go for an AWP. That's interesting. Now, I get it, because he will still be able to buy into the next round, because the loss bonus is starting to build up. I wonder if it'd be worth giving it to someone maybe a little bit more flashy. Like, JW's just bought Kevlar. Maybe give him the AWP? I don't know. Maybe they'll just play close to each other, and then JW can just pick it up if he dies. But Exist isn't the person I'd like to see going for like the flashy style plays, but I guess he bought the AWP, so he gets to keep the AWP.
And watch him just pull off like a sick clutch right now with the AWP.
Hey, I enjoy that.
Well, Crims already taken a couple of shots from Dick Stacy's really put his stamp here on Ivy. And Grayhound have like switched up the aggression again after like back-to-back rounds of, you know, barreling out of Ivy, barreling out of middle. They pump the brakes another time. And they look to now tie things up here, which ideally they should be able to. However, Exist might not be known for the AWP, but I don't think you can ever count him out.
A much slower paced round. See, it's interesting, because this is the sort of round where I think if you're Grayhound, you're expecting a buy. Just because the last was an eco.
Well, they heard the AWP, right? Or they heard the scout as well, I believe, out of Crims. So maybe they didn't think it's a shoddy buy.
Slow, but there we go. Fast movement into the site, looking to get the bomb down and fall back. JW boosted over the top, should be able to drop the bomb. Now there's only 30 seconds left, so they've got to be a little bit careful here. JW with another. This Deeg actually doing a lot of work. He almost manages to get rid of Mortar as well, who's very low within the site. Crims still had this scout, but won't be able to do anything. A nice shot from Sicko to at least bring things back. And Dick Stacy looks to stabilize things here. Now Exist, he's looking for damage, but he could just consider saving this AWP. They don't have a kit. The clock is ticking. That's why Brolin starts to get aggressive, and although the information is now there for Exist, I think the only call can really be to just save this AWP, retreat back, and run away.
Yeah, as you said before, they're going to be able to buy in the next round anyways, so getting some decent damage done. And again, Greyhounds have so much money left. Exist going to hit another shot. This one on to Dick Stacy. So now to a 1-on-2. It's making it expensive, but we're pretty much at that point where if Greyhound don't win out, then it doesn't matter how much money they have, because they would have lost the map. So now maybe he'll donate this one over.
Yeah, I think if they're going to go for a double-up setup, I'd be surprised if Exist had either of them. Like, when you've got Twist and JW on a team, like, you don't really need him to AWP. The 13-13, the Greyhounds have definitely brought this back. I was expecting after the streak of rounds it'd be a little bit of a whitewash, but the just sheer aggression into the A side has been something that Fnatic are struggling to hold. Doesn't look like, I don't know, actually they might be going for something similar again. Those early peaks were what was successful. It seems like they've fallen back into a default, and with the double AWP on the other side, it may now become a little bit more of a struggle to actually get back into these sites. Early A site stack with 4 players is going to be reduced to 3 as we see the rotation from Twist to get that AWP watching upper and support Exist on that side of the map.
Thing is, the slower play wasn't working out too well for Greyhound before. So I don't know if it's going to continue to do so. Because I feel like it almost plays into Fnatic's hand.
Still plenty of time for them left on the clock. Exist has the Molotov ready. Actually going to switch things up. He spotted them. That nade is a little bit too late, but he still gets the kill. He gets away with it. He's very low on HP. No, he's going to be pushed, and Dexter able to trade things out. JW looks to run into the side, but he's got Dexter right next to him. It goes through, but JW hits the shot anyway. Turns it back with Twist on another. This double up doing work, but Dick Stacy has the chance to save them, but he misses. And again, a quick flick coming out from Twist, and JW closes it. This is why they wanted that double up setup. They cleaned things up, 4 kills between them, and half of those shots they should never have been able to hit.
Exactly. That should not have worked out for Fnatic. Grayhound, or Fnatic getting lucky. Grayhound, unfortunately, just missing shots they should be able to take. JW turned the op into a shotgun as well as Twist there. Again, the economy's not ruined out of Grayhound, so they still have the ability to buy up in this round and still the ability to buy into the next. But they need to stop losing rounds. They need to start winning these again. And maybe that comes down to some aggressive plays in the beginning like we saw before.
It does. I guess good to try it again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But now there's a lot of utility going his way.
Oh, Brolin's getting really far up there. Aircast actually from middle gets the kill on towards him. Crim's going to be able to at least return that into a one-on-one. And JW shuts down Dick Stacy, who's been really a pain in the backside in Ivy. Exist clean up the second. And that aggression is going to be shut down here. Dexter by himself up against 4. He's not going to have a chance. And now Fnatic are on match point.
Yeah, now they seem to be back in the groove once again. It is now the point where Fnatic ever closer to eliminating Grayhound. They may come to regret that 11-4 half that they had on Dust 2, where they didn't win a single round over on their T side. A late tactical pause called, using every single second to make sure that they can talk things over, give Neil M a bit of a chance to maybe come up with some sort of strategy. The thing is, the only thing that's really been working for them is those aggressive plays. That was how they managed to sort of break the economy, then stabilized a little bit, but after that point, they went back to the slower play and just got picked off.
It was that, and I want to say like Dick Stacy or even Dexter at some points towards Ivy. Like there were a couple of rounds there where they got like solid Ivy control, transitioned it into a flank in behind Fnatic, who were holding towards bomb site. They've been able to take that control away, but then when JW locks it down, they take that two-pincer attack or two-prong attack and turn it into a 1.
The other thing as well is that the only reason they really got so much control there is because either Dexter or Sicko was getting that first pick, someone is pulled away from Ivy, and then they were just running straight through it. And it was just that pace that was created from the space alone.
You see that nade stacking towards middle with the Molotov as well. They really want to deny any sort of aggression. JW and Sicko going to trade. Oh, Crim's almost given an opportunity to hit a shot here, but now down to 4-piece. Grayhound fighting for their lives here. And they do have 3 men towards Ivy. They might be walking directly into Crim's. He's looking to end this game already and get their day done with over in France.
Yeah, they're going for a lot of Ivy control. Crim's actually going to switch over to the AWP. Just going to smoke them off again. He's got to be careful, but they're not going to go through it just yet. And he's going to fall back into a more passive spot. This angle can be quite difficult to clear for the T's. Watching for any sort of boost. Now, his own smoke can actually give them a way to escape, and you can see Urkus a little bit wary. I think he knows that this is the angle, and actually a smoke going to fall right in front, but it doesn't matter. The timing is enough for Crims. He'll find the pick nonetheless and give them the man advantage once again. 40 seconds up and coming on the clock, and Malta is now tagged and lost in pop. Is left on to Dexter and Sicko to try and turn the tide to keep them in the tournament. Dexter's not going to be able to do it, and Sicko's left all alone. 1v4, can't connect. Are given an opportunity, and now they know exactly where he is. Crims is waiting with the second AWP, and Fnatic do exactly what was expected of them. A nice resurgence in the first half, and a few rounds streaked together off some fantastic aggression. Like I have to say, like individually, we definitely saw some prominence. It's just, I think when it then comes down to like trying to take picks all the time, eventually Fnatic are going to win this out. Like they had that double up setup, which was so good, and when they got the money rolling once again, they just closed things down.
Yeah.